On this episode of RevHang, Cadillac is officially going to be on the F1 grid starting in 2026.
Dang it. They all have M names.
I was banned from George Fox University.
Yeah, Hurt Bros stay winning. There's a chance Hurt Bros.
We're saying something good about Perez? What podcast is this?
No, it's gonna be really fun. The hot sauce apparently has nice fruity notes to it.
Hello everybody and welcome back to RevHang. I'm Nathan as always, and alongside me as always is my good friend and co-host Ben Bagley on the other screen. Let's pass it over to you. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good. That was such a long drawn out switchover.
I felt like a news anchor for a second there, and then I decided not to be.
God, I wish I was in a hurricane right now. I mean, wait, what? But yeah, things are going good. I don't even know if you asked me how things were going, but
I think
things
I did.
are going good.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll have to get a green screen behind you so we can do hurricane effects while you're...
You just put whatever you want in the editing process.
Turn your gain way down and just scream into the microphone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is not a news Well, actually, it is a news podcast, but not in that sense.
I feel like a Whose Line Is It Anyways skit.
Yes. This is a racing news podcast. So let's get into some racing news. Paddock news, more specifically, as we tend to do on a weekly basis. I am on one today. Okay. Cadillac is officially going to be on the F1 grid starting in 2026 and will become an engine supplier starting in 2028. In the meantime, in the interim, they will be using Ferrari engines, I think, is what the rumor is. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but yeah.
They don't exactly have Renault engines to use anymore.
No, no, they do not. This is huge news. We're going to have an 11th team on the grid in 2026. And let's move into our next talking point, which happened a mere hour or so after the official announcement of Cadillac to F1, and we'll talk about why that's a little suspicious. Mario Andretti has been named the head of the board at Cadillac, and this was the ultimate sneaky backstabbing power move to Formula One media.
Genius.
Absolutely. So, for those who have not been following, the Andretti family has been trying to get an 11th team on the F1 grid for at least 3 years now. They have done everything they need to do. They have the money to do it. They have the facilities to do it. They have the staff to do it. And yet, Formula One doesn't like the Andretti family, so they've always said no. But they did want a big manufacturer. That's why we got Audi in pretty quickly. And now apparently Cadillac is in fairly... I mean, this is the first we've heard of Cadillac having a works team. So
yeah, I mean, aside from like their hybrid supercar division,
right,
like their endurance racers for WEC.
Right. So they're actually huge in the endurance racing world. Cadillac is the team. They are currently the Red Bull. But they're taking the jump into Formula One. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to hear the engine. See if they make it sound as insanely good as the hypercar engine does.
Spoiler, it won't.
It won't, because F1 has horrible engine rules in terms of noise levels, but that's beside the point. I'm very excited about this. We're going to have Cadillac F1 team. Who knows? I would imagine Andretti Global will be the primary sponsor. They can control what they name the team, but they can't control who sponsors the team. So
yeah,
that
was an awesome move for them to announce it right after F1 made it official.
You know that if this happened, if they announced Andretti as the head of the board at Cadillac, that Cadillac would not have been accepted. Like, there's no
Well, they
shot.
made a pretty big deal out of Mario Andretti leaving Andretti also.
That was
like
Michael
Mario...
Andretti.
Dang it.
Left. And he didn't
they all
actually
have M names.
He didn't actually leave. He was the CEO.
He was pushed out, or wasn't he?
No, he was the CEO and he stepped down. I don't know if it was ever really said why. I didn't read any articles that in depth on it, but he stepped down from being the CEO and is taking an advisory role at Andretti. I don't know what that means for him. I don't know what the plan is. Maybe this was their master plan the whole time and they're going to make him the team principal at Cadillac. That's possible. So maybe he just needed to step out of the CEO role to prepare for that.
Well,
it's
that
all
shows you my
speculation.
level of reading comprehension.
And this is my level of extrapolation. So, yeah, I don't. No one really knows. This is kind of all obviously big news to us. This all just kind of hit this morning. There's been rumors over the past couple of weeks, but rumors are rumors until they're posted on the F1 page. Um, so this is great. I am very excited. We're gonna have an American F1 team. Not to Sean Haas that much, but we're gonna have an American F1 team.
Yep, and
Based
it's going to be Colton Herta and Kyle Larson racing in a car painted with red, white, and blue flames.
most likely not. Um, However, screaming American at F1 Media sounds pretty amazing to me. So um, maybe Colton Herta is a very valid possibility to get that seat if he can manage to secure a super license before 2026.
I mean, he's 1 point away, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he has to finish like fifth or higher or something next season. He's really close, so it's
Yeah.
very doable. But IndyCar is not comparable to F2 in terms of the amount of points you get, which is the
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever.
I think we've already vented about that. We should give that a little more time to rest before we go back to venting about it.
Yeah, well, it's easy to get me on these rants, but
Yeah.
yeah. So Colton Herta is a possibility. Joseph Newgarden is a possibility.
Alex
Um,
Palou,
Alex Palou
maybe?
is not American, but definitely possible. What if they just
I mean,
pulled both
I'll take
drivers
it.
from IndyCar? They had Palou and Newgarden or something on a team. That'd be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Um,
Or Dixon and Herta.
could be Dixon and Herta. I don't see
That'd be fun.
Dixon making a huge career move at the ripe old age of 40 something, probably.
Yeah.
Um,
Fuel saving isn't as important when you're in a no fuel stops
right.
racing series.
Yeah. Um, so it's hard to know. I mean, Pato O'Ward is probably in the conversation. He's driven
Yeah.
F1 cars before multiple times, several times. So I don't really know, but obviously this is very new. We haven't had a lot of time to think about this.
Yeah.
Um,
My dream team right now is Herta and Bottas. Herta for the fiery youngster, and Bottas is the guy who can kind of help lead development.
well, here's the thing. What if Colapinto doesn't get a seat this year or next year? I mean, I don't know. It is a new team, so it seems less likely that they would take someone like Colapinto. Um,
They got
but
to get the image right on their first driver lineup too. You
yeah,
almost have to
well,
take a bit of a hit to get a good driver lineup that brings in lots of attention.
this is true. I mean, it's hard to say. They're almost assuredly going to have at least one American in the car.
They have to.
It's almost like an obligation. So we'll have. I mean, Alex Rossi's driven F1 before too, so he's another possibility. I don't think he has a super license
True.
anymore though. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't anticipate getting any sort of silly season driver announcements for a while. But if we do, that would be pretty sweet. And Colton Herta would be my pick, but I know it'd be Ben's pick too.
Yeah, Hurt and Bros stay winning.
Herta.
There's a chance Herta Bros.
All right. Next up, we have some silly season news. We have Gabriel Bortoleto has been hired at Sauber for next season. This was kind of rumored for a while. A lot of us were hoping for Colapinto. A lot of us were hoping Bottas would stay. But no, Sauber next season is going to be Hulkenberg and Colapinto, or not Colapinto, Bortoleto, who is there's
Bit
all
of
these
wishful thinking there.
man, all these F2 drivers coming in all in the same season is messing me up. um, but yep, so we've got full driver lineup now. Aside from the last Alpha Tower seat, I think is still not confirmed, and while Red Bull is technically confirmed, I think everyone knows it's not. We'll have to see who shows up to the first race in the Red Bull. Um, but moving on, Niels Wittich has stepped down as race director. He said he did not actually do this voluntarily, so step down might not be the right word. But he was replaced by Rui Marquez, I think is how you say that. No idea who that guy is or what his background is, but judging by the fact that there was already drama in race direction in his first race, we're gonna have to buckle up for what will probably be a wild ride.
So excited.
Yes. And then finally, Dan Fallows has left his role as Aston Martin's technical director. I would assume to make room for Adrian Newey, but I don't know for sure. So lots of huge news. I mean, in any other week, the last two would be massive news, but this week it's not.
It's a footnote.
It's a footnote because Cadillac just decided to drop a bomb on everybody. All right.
Yeah, Nathan and I were both like, "Oh yeah, try to keep it to a shorter episode." And this morning, the Cadillac news comes out and just absolutely ruins all of our plans.
Yep. We can still keep it a shorter episode though. We're already through the first section. Let's fly through the race. Qualifying. This is the Las Vegas Grand Prix this week. Qualifying, we had Russell on pole, followed by Sainz and Pierre Gasly in third. Fourth and fifth were Leclerc and Verstappen. 6 through 10 were Norris, Tsunoda, Piastri, Hulkenberg, and Hamilton. Any notables that got cut? Yeah, Perez missed missed Q.
Is that actually noticeable though? It's like the sixth time.
It is the sixth time this year he got knocked out in Q1. Started 15th after I think Colapinto took a penalty because he destroyed his car in qualifying again.
Hulkenberg in top 10 again. That's pretty neat.
But that happens often
Tsunoda
though.
Also.
Yeah, Tsunoda is up there. He's 7th. That's not too bad.
Did you already say Gasly in third?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Cool. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Guan Yu Zhou qualified 13th. I was hoping for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually made it out of Q1, and I was like, maybe he'll score a point. Then no.
Maybe the chance that Ben drinks the hot sauce.
Yep. We do have an announcement about that at the end of the episode. All right, moving into the race, Russell maintained the lead on the start. Leclerc moved up to P2 from P4 in turn 1. Leclerc battled Russell in the opening laps, but fell back quickly as his tires went off. Sainz then passed Leclerc for P2 on lap 7. Verstappen then passed Leclerc for P3 on lap 8. Hamilton quickly made his way through the field. Piastri got a penalty for a false start, which ended up not really affecting him at all. Verstappen passed Sainz on lap 10. Gasly blew his engine on lap 16. Sainz and Leclerc swapped positions on lap 27. Then Sainz had a weird fake pit stop incident where he was told to box, and then he drove into sort of into the entrance of the pit lane, then was told to stay out, so he decided to abort and drive over the curbs to get back onto the track, which everyone and their dog thought was a penalty, but apparently it wasn't. So, yeah. Hamilton passed Verstappen on lap 32. Sainz passed Leclerc for P3 on lap 38. Sainz passed Verstappen for P2 on lap 42. And Leclerc passed Verstappen for P3 on lap 47. No, for P4. Sorry. Leclerc passed Verstappen for P4. I was like, I thought
there's
Verstappen
a whole
got
thing
fifth.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leclerc is pretty mad about that.
Yeah, but it's just a typo. All right. Results of the race. George Russell won the race handily, no problem at all. And he was followed by Lewis Hamilton. The Mercedes were insanely quick this weekend. And Carlos Sainz right off the podium. Fourth and fifth were Leclerc and Verstappen. 6 through 10 were Norris, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Perez. 11 through 15 were Alonso, Magnussen, Zhou, Colapinto, and Stroll. 16 through 18 running off the finishers were Lawson, Ocon, and Bottas. And our two DNFs were Albon and Gasly. Gasly, of course, had the engine failure. I forgot why Albon. I think he got a plastic bag stuck in his brake or his cooling ducts or something, and had to stop.
Some overheating issue.
Yeah, I think a plastic bag also took Gasly out. So, yeah, gotta love that American litter trademarked.
Trademark.
Making us look
Thank
great.
you, Las Vegas. Very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, before I offend anybody, let's move on. Verstappen.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to offend somebody who lives in Las Vegas.
No, they'll come after me. All right. Let's move into our talking points. Verstappen won the title this race by finishing in front of Lando Norris. So Verstappen is officially a 4-time world champion. And yeah, he matches Vettel's record of winning 4 in a row. which I don't know if that's a record because Schumacher won 5 in a row, but he has won 4 in a row, matching what Vettel did in the early 2010s. And yeah, congrats to Max. He seemed very excited about it until
Very
he got
impressive work.
into the Rolls Royce, and then he seemed to forget about the championship. All right. Next up, Ferrari is rapidly closing in on McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. There was some good damage limitation during this race, but there is now, skipping ahead a little bit, a 24-point gap in the Constructors' standings between McLaren and Ferrari, and 2 races left, plus a sprint race for a possible total of 110 points. Wait, no,
Hold
that's
up.
not right. 20 math is mathing. 25 plus 18 is 43,
Right.
plus fastest lap is 44, times 2 is 88, plus 8 for the sprint race is 96. So 96 points total possible for if you maxed out your points totals for the next races.
So what you're telling me is Red Bull could still win this.
Yes, that is what I'm telling you. Red Bull can still technically win it, but they have
If
to
Perez has
outscore.
2 perfect races,
They have to
then we're good to
outscore.
go.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. They have to outscore McLaren by quite a bit to stay in it in the next race. But if they don't, or if it's even close, then Red Bull will get knocked out after Qatar, and it will be between McLaren and Ferrari. And with the way things have been going recently, I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. So, very much looking forward to the last 2 races of the season as a McLaren fan. But as a McLaren fan, I'm also a little sad this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how are you feeling now that Norris might not win the championship?
I'm a little disappointed, but also at the same time, like I don't have to really think about it anymore. I don't have to hold on to false hope. So
You no longer have to say, so there's a chance.
there's, I gave up on the chance after Brazil, and then it was just official after this race. So yeah, Ferrari has an interesting conundrum brewing in their ranks. Sainz and Leclerc not getting along super well on the track right now. They kind of passed each other back and forth throughout this race, and Sainz ended up switching with Leclerc at some point. I assume the plan was to switch them back, and then Sainz never did that, or Sainz ended up passing Leclerc when he shouldn't have, and took that podium for himself. And Leclerc was, to say the least, not too thrilled about that.
A little miffed, a little peeved.
A little bit miffed. He had kind of a tirade on the radio on the cooldown lap, and then at the end said, "Oops, my radio's on, but I don't think it was a mistake." So
It's awesome.
we shall continue to watch that play out. Sainz is on his way out of Ferrari and going to a back marker team next season, so I do not blame him in the slightest for taking what he can get.
Yep.
But just creating a little tension at Ferrari, and then we got Max, or not Max. That would be interesting. We got Lewis coming in to Ferrari next season, and I'm sure Lewis and Leclerc will have no issues determining who the number 1 driver is. I'm sure that will not be a talking point at all next season.
Yeah, Lewis is famous for being really ready to give up first place to people.
Right, yeah. He's clear number 2 driver.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why he got a contract worth 4 times Leclerc's, because he's going to be the number 2 driver. All right.
No, but Leclerc is Ferrari's golden boy. He's the best.
Yeah, until he's not. Yeah, I don't know what to think about Leclerc. I don't know why he's even still at Ferrari. I feel like he gets shafted by them every year in some way, and he just stays there. So, that guy could go to literally any team he wants to, and he chooses to stay with Ferrari.
Ferrari's in an abusive relationship. Ferrari keeps promising we'll be better next time. It's like, oh, it'll be better next time. Next year it'll be better.
Yeah. Uh, it's kind of brutal to watch, but I will say it's kind of hard to picture Leclerc in any other team. Uh, but I think that's just because he's been with Ferrari for so long. Kind of like it was hard to picture Hamilton in any other team. And now all of a
What if
sudden
you
he's
went
a
to
Ferrari
Andretti?
driver. Leclerc to Andretti would be monumental.
Would that be the best thing ever?
You got Leclerc and Herta on a team, bro.
You'd either win or not have any cars past the finish line.
Yeah,
There is no in between.
their driving styles are so similar too. Like they both go 101%. Uh, and so they will often crash at very high speeds while trying to get the most out of the car.
If losing, recovery drive. If winning, self.
Yes. Leclerc, though, has been better this year, like considerably.
Yeah.
Has had a lot less incidents. I think it's because the Ferrari's so competitive, he doesn't have to drive the wheels off it to be in the hunt.
Yeah.
That feels like what's going on for me, but yeah. All right, moving on. Perez scored a point this week, uh, adding to the tally of points that he has accrued for Red Bull. I think I saw something on Instagram today that said that Verstappen scored more points with his P5 in Vegas than Perez has in the last like 6 weeks or something, in the last 6 races.
Oh, you're right.
That's
Oh, that's not good.
no, it's not.
That's pretty bad.
That's real bad.
Really good for wind tunnel time though.
Indeed, yeah, it's all part of the master plan. Um, so yeah, Perez still being Perez. If they don't swap him this season, they're not going to for the foreseeable future. I don't. There's this will always be a rumor until he's replaced.
I mean, Red Bull's commitment right now is still Perez for next year. That's what they said.
At the moment, they say a lot of things though, but they also keep saying they're going to keep Perez, and then they keep keeping Perez. So,
Maybe we should start believing them.
maybe we're going to finally believe them, and they're going to swap out and hire Leclerc or something. All right. I'm still curious what Christian Horner was doing in the Williams paddock a couple weeks ago. We'll see. We'll see. All right, moving on. Williams, speaking of which, they've gone through their fair share of parts this season.
Yeah, thank goodness they got rid of Sargent. He was just absolutely totaling all their cars.
Yep. And since that happened, Albon and Colapinto have both been totaling cars every single week.
Ready to pick up the slack.
My goodness, those poor Williams mechanics, dude. I don't know what they're getting paid, but it's not enough. Dude, the Destructors Championship, Williams is ahead by like a mile.
So much.
It's
honestly
nuts.
impressive at this point.
Yeah. I don't remember who I said would have the most crashes, but it was either Williams or Alpine. So we'll see. Can't wait to do our predictions in a few weeks. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, Williams is struggling. Verstappen was more excited, like I said earlier, to be inside the Rolls Royce than winning the championship. It was actually hilarious to watch all the podium drivers squeezed into one car talking about the race, and then Max with GP, his engineer, in the back of a different Rolls Royce.
My boy.
They're but he's like, you see, every time the cameras on him, he's like pushing buttons and like sliding the tray tables out and like figuring out how all the car works and everything. He was
Best
like
Borat impression.
kid in a candy store. It was awesome.
Oh, very nice.
It was hilarious because Crofty was like, he could probably afford one of these. So yeah, it was pretty funny, but it's like, the guy just won the championship and all I can think about is what all the buttons inside the car do.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. That rounds off the talking points. Let's move into the standings. Since we do have a new champion, I will go through the entire list. Max Verstappen has won, or sealed. He did win. He sealed the championship this week. He has 403 points, followed by Lando Norris with 340, Leclerc with 319, Piastri with 268, Sainz with 259, Russell with 217, Hamilton with 208, Perez with 152. Just for comparison, Verstappen has 403 and Perez has 152.
It's only a
Alonso,
250-point difference.
right?
Not even
Alonso,
half.
yeah, that's not much. Alonso has 62 points. Hulkenberg has 35. Tsunoda has 30. Gasly has 26. Stroll has 24. Ocon has 23. Magnussen has 14. Albon has 12. Ricardo has 12. Behrman has 7. Colapinto has 5. And Lawson has 4. Then we have Joe Sargent and Bottas with 0. I need a point. I need
Just
a
one. That's all it
point.
takes.
P10.
Who do you think has the highest chance, Joe or Valtteri?
Honestly, Joe at this point, Bottas has been finishing last like every race as of late, and it's kind of brutal. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's checked out, but the guy just doesn't have it anymore. Um, I mean, he finished 10 seconds behind Ocon, who accidentally gave himself a drive-through penalty. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Bottas. It might just be the car. It probably is mostly the car, but at the same time, the guy is always last now, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
All right, constructors. McLaren has 608, Ferrari has 584, Red Bull has 555, Mercedes has 425. Then we drop way down to Aston Martin with 86, Haas with 50, Alpine with 49, RB with 46, Williams with 17, and Sauber with 0. It's actually remarkable that drop between 4th and 5th place is, what is that, 339 points?
Yeah.
Which is almost double what Perez has gotten, more than double what Perez has gotten this season.
Oh my gosh.
So there's that, but you really have Formula One and Formula 1.5, don't you? All right.
Wow. You've been saving that one, haven't you?
I said that a long time ago, a lot, but now it's not after. I bring it back. It deserves to
More
be brought
relevant
back,
now
yeah.
than ever.
Absolutely. All right, pit stop championship this week. Verstappen was on top with a time of 2.09 seconds, followed by Norris and Sainz. 4th and 5th were Lawson and Tsunoda. 6 through 10 were Russell, Perez, Ocon, Piastri, and Leclerc. Moving into the pit stop championship standings, not much has changed. Perez is still out in front. Verstappen overtook Leclerc for P2. No. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So Verstappen is now in second, followed by Leclerc. Then we have Norris and Piastri, Hamilton, Sainz, Tsunoda, Ocon, and Russell round off the top 10. And then our constructors, we've got Red Bull ahead by 135 points because math works. Yeah, Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, RB, Alpine, Sauber, Aston Martin, Williams, and Haas. Sauber does have points this season, just not in the right series. All right.
Yep.
Moving on to overtake of the week. I gave this one, actually surprisingly, to Sergio Perez for his overtake on Liam Lawson and Kevin Magnussen on lap 38 of the Grand Prix. If you didn't see it, go watch the highlights. It was a pretty actually insane overtake. He just kind of sent it down the inside of both of them into a really tight corner and made it work. So for that, Perez, as much as we dog on you, you are this week's overtake of the week.
Yay.
Yay.
A bright spot. Finally something good.
We're saying something good about Perez. What podcast is this? All right.
The evil RevHang podcast be like, Perez is our favorite driver.
Yeah. It's the Bizarro RevHang podcast. All right. Let's move into our predictions, Ben, and wrap this up. It was not good. That's
real
for sure.
bad.
Yeah.
They've been getting worse, actually.
Really? I don't know if I think I had one right in the top 5 last week by pure chance. But the last like 4 weeks we've just been completely wrong.
Brutal. Once Verstappen stopped winning everything, it got way harder.
That's
Let me
so
tell
true,
you.
so true. And I think it's partially, I mean, usually in the last few years, it's been Red Bull the clear number one, and then there's a pretty clear number two, and then a pretty clear number three, and then it's everybody else. But by then, you've already got six drivers, so it's not too difficult to tell who's going to be in the top five, and in what order ish. But this year, I'd say the top four cars at the moment are all incredibly close to each other, um, with Red Bull probably being the worst of the four. I would say McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes have surpassed Red Bull. I don't think it's. Yeah. I think Verstappen is driving the absolute wheels off the thing, and Perez is just doing what he can. I mean, obviously, this has been Perez's worst season compared to Verstappen, but I really think that Red Bull might just be a midfield car that Verstappen is doing insane things with. Um, I don't know what happened in their development this year. I know they had to like take the sawzall to the rear wing just to trim it down because they didn't have the correct rear wing with them in Vegas this week.
One of my old FSA buddies sent me that picture, and he just said, "One of us, one of us."
Yeah. So for Red Bull making their on the fly upgrades. Um, but hey, it worked sort of. Verstappen was faster than he was going to be, most likely if they stuck with the bigger rear wing. Um,
Yeah.
so do what you got to do.
Anyways,
Very
yeah,
much duct tape and MacGyver things. All
yeah.
right, predictions for Las Vegas. Top five to remind everybody was Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, and Verstappen. What did you say, Ben?
I had Sainz, Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, and Piastri with Perez as my dark horse.
Got it.
God damn it.
I had Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Verstappen, and Sainz with Colapinto as my dark horse. So I did not do much better than you. All right.
Okay.
Fastest lap went to Lando Norris. What did you say?
I had Sainz for that.
And I had Norris, so at least I got that right. Driver of the day went to Lewis Hamilton, deservedly so. What did you say, Ben?
I had Perez for that.
I had Norris for that,
I
and
don't remember why I put Perez.
I don't know either,
I
but
couldn't tell you.
you did. So
I did.
here we are.
Wrong again.
All right, you got a chance to redeem yourself this week, Ben.
Yes.
We are moving into the final two races of the season, back to back. This is a triple header to end the year. Very exciting things. And then we move into the off season until all of the craziness starts up again in February. Also more paddock news, which kind of just flew under the radar because of the craziness of this season. All 10 of the teams next year will be revealing their cars at the same event. So
I forgot about
we
that.
don't get trickled liveries, which I always loved. Looking forward every day to seeing the new liveries, especially in mid-February is when most of them were released. But now it's all at the
Like a
same.
Formula One advent calendar.
Yeah. You got your calendars marked on which cars are revealed. But now it is all at the same event. I don't particularly know the reason why. And
Because it's the 75th anniversary of Formula One.
oh, is that why? Oh, that's
Can confirm.
dumb. Okay. I was thinking maybe it's so cars don't get a competitive advantage by seeing their competitors' cars first, but at the
Nope.
same time, they don't really show their cars; they just show the liveries. Um, so, all right, is 70? I thought this already happened. I guess maybe I'm thinking of the 1,000th Grand Prix.
Nope.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And when they do the 100th anniversary, they're going to do the same thing, but even harder.
Yeah. They're gonna let Andretti in and then disqualify him from every race.
Yeah.
All right. Predictions for the Qatar Grand Prix. I don't know how to say it. Everyone says that country differently. Qatar is what most Americans say.
Yeah.
I know.
Qatar.
I think Qatar is technically how you're supposed to say it in English, and then it's got like a different pronunciation in Arabic. So
Well,
this is
welcome to America,
this is
idiots.
besides the point. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I just try my best, man. All right. Ben, give me your top five.
Okay, I've got Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen, Sainz, and Hamilton in fifth place, and then I have I don't know. Okay, we're going with it. Perez is my dark horse.
You had a chance to redeem yourself, and you did the exact same thing as last week. Okay. All right. I have Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Russell, and Leclerc with Gasly as my dark horse. Can't tell you why I put Verstappen in first place. I just have a feeling. Crazy saying that now.
You think,
Last
you think
season
that
at
he's
this
going to
time.
drive even harder
Yeah. Last
after he's
season,
won?
last season at this time, like saying I have no idea why I'm putting Verstappen in first place. That's like it's like pretty obvious why you're putting Verstappen there. But
They don't even have to worry about winning the championship because they're not. Like, no way. Verstappen's going to cruise. Nice 5th place. Call it good.
that's why you predicted him third, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Deal. All
He's
right.
accounting for several engine failures.
Hey, I want that to happen because that means there's a better chance that we get a Sauber finishing P10. And that is all I care about at this point in the season. I am now a Sauber fan. McLaren, I don't care about you
Sauber till
anymore.
I die.
Actually, I do care because you can still win the constructors. But Sauber, you're my boys too. I need you to. I need you to do something.
No, it's gonna be really fun. The hot sauce apparently has nice fruity notes to it.
I saw that. I'm not looking forward to it, even with the fruity notes. So,
It's max lips.
yeah. All right. Before we get into that, fastest lap. What'd you say, Ben?
Lando Norris.
And I said Perez. The only reason
You
being,
fool. Perez couldn't even get the fastest lap attempt last time he attempted it.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. But I think he's going to try again. I think he's going to be so far back that Red Bull is more concerned about getting that fastest lap point off of a Ferrari or a McLaren that they'll just sacrifice Perez to the racing gods and put him on soft tires and hope that he can drive faster than Leclerc.
Give Perez fastest lap in my life is yours.
Yeah, if Perez, I say if, like he didn't do it in Mexico, or Brazil or whatever it was. If he can't outdrive Leclerc when he's on soft tires and Leclerc's on used hards, like there's something's gotta happen, man.
Another hot sauce shot.
Right. No, wait, no, no. I didn't agree to this. All right, driver of the day. What you got, Ben?
I have Charles Leclerc for driver of the day.
I have Maximilian Verstappen as
Good
my
God.
driver of the day. So we will see there. And before we get into the final segment, everybody's favorite segment, we do have a announcement that we've been hinting at. Ben, do you want to tell our lovely listeners what the official RevHang sponsored, not sponsored hot sauce is going to be that I will most likely be taking a shot of at the end of the season?
Yeah, let me pull it up on a screen that everybody can actually see. How do I do this? I gotta remember how to use OBS. Okay.
All right, if
Well,
you're screen
yeah.
sharing, I'm going to emphasize not sponsored. They're not paying us. In fact, we're paying them.
Hold on, I gotta wait for a Firefox to update.
Well, that was your first mistake. You gotta get on Chrome because it's 2024, Ben.
I'm using Chrome and Firefox.
I use Chrome and Edge, so I don't know what that makes me, but
Edge.
Edge is not bad.
Edge.
Stop it, Ben. It's not Internet Explorer. It's better.
Edge. Okay.
You are a real.
This is
You're a funny guy, man. You're a
It's-
funny guy.
Dave's Gourmet Scorpion Pepper Hot Sauce. 5 ounces. Nathan doesn't have to drink all 5 ounces. It's just like a little shot, maybe. We'll see how brave he's feeling. If you'd like to see the nutritional facts, here you go. It is not a significant source of fiber. It is vegetarian, fairly low sodium, I'd say, and the serving size is 1 teaspoon.
I will be having several servings then.
So you gonna do like a tablespoon?
Well, I said a shot, but after reading the description, I literally think I might injure myself if I take a shot. So maybe we'll do one of those
slogan
like
for this one
one of
is
those little
the heat that stings.
yeah, and then you read the reviews and it's okay.
Yep, it is vegetarian. The
As-
ingredients are scorpion peppers, water, salt, acetic acid, and xanthan gum.
I feel like you're just rubbing this in, man, at this point.
Hey, it's important to get a good sauce that's not just like tomato or water filler. Like, you want to make sure the first ingredient is peppers.
I'll trust your judgment, Ben.
Yep.
So I don't know how much I'm gonna drink. I might just do one of those little NyQuil shooters. Um,
There you
not
go.
not sponsored. We're not sponsored by NyQuil. But that'd be an interesting sponsor. So NyQuil, if you're watching.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, that's the hot sauce.
that is the
I'm
hot
gonna
sauce.
order it
We
after
are.
this, and you will get to see somebody drink it, whether Sauber actually scores a point or whether they don't.
Yes.
So it's a win-win.
It's a win for somebody. I wouldn't call it a win-win, but
Hey, I might do it with you just because I like scorpion sauce.
okay. Well, all right. Well, okay. At least I won't be alone then. So
I'll make you do it first, though.
fair. One of us has to do the outro on that episode. Just saying.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. We'll fight through the tears.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, this will be settled and happening during our season review podcast, which will probably come out either just before or just after Christmas.
A little Christmas gift.
Little Christmas gift for you. I needed to plan it out like this because I don't know, I've never done this with hot sauce before. So I've never had anything really hotter than a habanero on purpose. Actually, I have had something hotter than a habanero accidentally, and it didn't end well. I was banned from George Fox University.
What a story.
Semi-true story. All right. So that will be right before or right after Christmas. I wanted to do it while I had time off work because I'm not about to take a shot of the hottest thing I have ever experienced the night before I have to go to work the next day. Just in case I need to be
Hospitalized.
I wasn't going to say hospitalized, but in case I'm stuck on a certain seat in the house for an extended period of time and can't make it to work.
Fine.
We'll see. We will see. But
how about some words of wisdom to lower your blood pressure a little bit?
That sounds good, Ben. Let's move on to everybody's favorite segment. Ben's
I have some prepared. And it was going to be check your tire pressures since it's getting cold, but actually no. I just upgraded to Windows 11 and don't get to Linux. Switch to Linux while you can. Don't even think about using Windows anymore. Switch to Linux as fast as you can. I don't care if it's Mint or Ubuntu or whatever Penguin flavored operating system you need to use. Just switch to Linux. Don't bother with Windows anymore. You don't need any of the AI or LLM slop that they're feeding you. Don't do it. Don't let them take your data.
Okay, Ben.
Don't. Yeah.
One thing to note about that's completely unrelated but sort of related. Do you remember that game Words with Friends or whatever it was called?
From Zynga.
Yeah, that one. I was playing that in high school, and I made the word Linux, and it didn't accept it as a real word, and I got real sad.
So sad.
Yeah. So, yes, computer geeks unite.
Can we get a sad Linus Torvald in chat?
Yes, absolutely. Computer geeks and Hertobros unite.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the weird part of the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up this episode of RevHang. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed it, leave a like or rating on the platform you listened on. Subscribe or follow if you'd like to see more. If you want to see updated standings for F1 and IndyCar or a calendar of upcoming racing from those series, which there's not a lot of upcoming racing left until I update it to the 2025 calendar, hit us, no, not yet. Check out our website, revhang.com. If you have a question about racing, I'm so professional today. If you have a question about racing or about us, hit us up on socials in comments and DMs, and we may feature your question on the next show. You can follow Ben on Instagram at BenjiMeetsWorld and myself at 2n_squared. You can follow the RevHang page on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and even TikTok until January 20-something at RevHang Media. We'll be back in a week to talk about the Formula One Qatar Grand Prix. But until then, I've been Nathan.
I've been Ben.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, feel free to hit us.
With the car, please. Have a great one, everybody.